I think we often take for granted the ability to call up virtually any song by any artist at a moment's notice. From the 1970s to the 1990s, most consumers either listened to songs on the radio or bought the album. This could have been on 8 track, vinyl, cassette, or CD. Now, this was fine if you liked all the songs your DJ was spinning or you loved every track on that album. However, as technology advanced, home users were finally able to make mixtapes, burn CDs, and carry thousands of songs in their pocket. But what about pre-bought compilation albums? Well, that's where this Canadian company, K-Tel International, comes into play. K-Tel was the original As Seen on TV company that seemed to dabble in everything from home gadgets, kids' toys, video games, films, and for our purposes, music.
Now, I don't consider myself a vinyl snob, but I have a decent record collection, I think. So everything behind me is all vinyl, and this is about half of what I have. There's people who have a lot more. It's not an addiction. But K-Tel is kind of my little guilty pleasure. And I think a lot of other collectors feel the same way. They're not valuable records. They're not rare pressings or anything. I mean, these are sold on TV. But if you just want to put an album on or an 8-track and listen to it, I love these. I don't pass up a K-Tel album or 8-track if I see them in the store. Take a look at this one. 20 Power Hits, Volume 2, mind you, but there's some really good stuff on here. In no particular order, Dragging the Line, Knock 3 Times, Doesn't Somebody Want to Be Wanted, Green-Eyed Lady, Shakin' All Over, and I Love You for All Seasons. Now, 10 tracks on each side, 20 tracks altogether. Hey, I listen to this a lot. As a matter of fact, it's on my table right now, and this is one of my go-to albums. And that's one of the great things about that I think about K-Tel Records, because you can just throw these on, walk away, and you get a mix of music. Same thing with the 8-tracks. This Full Tilt is one of my favorites. Again, no particular order. The Tide is High, He's So Shy, Let My Love Open the Door, You're the Only Woman, I'm Happy That Love Has Found You. Really cool things. And there's some Genesis on here, Cheap Trick, Pat Benatar, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Come on, this is what I'd have a playlist already, but I can have it in period correct formats. And especially in the 70s and 80s, this was really convenient because you can buy this and be ready to go. You can get your Music Express album here and get your Captain and Tennille, Casey and the Sunshine Bands, the Doobie Brothers, and Mike's Post, Jigsaw. I mean, hey, there's winners and losers on here, but the point is, it was ready to go. If you've ever made a mixtape, don't forget about mix CDs. That was so much easier. But if you made a mixtape yourself, that was a labor of love. You either had to have all the materials, or you're just sitting next to the radio getting ready to press record when your song came on. Compilation albums like K-Tel, and K-Tel was not the only ones by any means. I have some favorite ones.
Hey man, is that Freedom Rock?
But K-Tel was really a pioneer, and you can buy these things and just listen to music. If you're thinking about buying K-Tel albums or any compilation album, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. Because they crammed so many songs, this one has 20 power hits, 10 aside. Some of those songs are edited. They could be shortened. They could fade out at the end. They've done a lot of tricks to squeeze that many songs on here as possible. And because of that, if you just look at the grooves, comparing a K-Tel record to any other record from a good studio, it looks different. Obviously, it's more squeezed on there, but that's the type of quality you're getting. They don't sound as high fidelity as a single band record would, but that's not the point. These compilation albums weren't meant for audio heads playing them on big, expensive hi-fi systems. It was just meant for people that wanted to listen to a bunch of music and didn't have to flip records. That was the great thing, or flip 8-tracks or cassettes. You can just put it in and jam out. That's what made this a really great thing. And what makes it wonderful today is you could pick some of these up for a couple bucks. If you go to any Goodwill or secondhand retail store that has albums, typically you're going to find some K-Tel stuff in there. It might be some of the earlier stuff, maybe country or polka or classical music, but it's going to be there. Especially some of the more desirable stuff from the 70s and 80s, people are going to buy those up, kind of what you see here. But even if you look on eBay, you can get some of these for less than $10 an album, and they don't have a lot of playtime. So you can really strike out and get something good. Anytime you're looking at K-Tel 8 tracks, well, you're plagued with any other issues that you get with 8 tracks. So if you're into that, you know what you're getting into. You might have to do a little bit of work to get these to the best quality you're going to get out of 8 tracks. Anything you buy with the later ones, cassette or CD, hey, you're pretty much ready to go. So I think that's going to wrap this up. I just wanted to do a real quick talk about K-Tel because anytime I'm in my office not recording or not doing work, I usually have something from K-Tel playing. That's the great thing about it. You just pop it in and go. So let me ask you this. What are some of your favorite compilation albums? Do you have memories of K-Tel or other late night infomercials describing amazing music that you can buy for $19.99 CD, tapes, or LP, no COD sent to your door? Tell me about it in the comments below. So I think that's going to wrap this up. If you like what we're doing here at Retro Tech or Die, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll catch you next time.